Hey YouTube, how you guys doing today? Kevin here, coming back at you with another video. So we're looking at my 1992 Yamaha Virago. This is my baby. I use this thing every year. Me and my brother Clay, we go on the Indy Blacksmith ride for life. This year I'm taking a camera with me on the ride, so you guys are gonna be able to see this bike in action. I got a lot of requests for, Kevin, how come you're not doing videos of you actually riding the bikes? And so I'm going to take you guys on a pretty cool ride coming up on July 27th. Andy Blacksmith was an on-air personality for Rock 101, waiting for a heart transplant, and unfortunately he did not receive it. He passed away, and so in honor of him, we do a ride every year Rock 101 puts on, and basically bringing awareness to organ donation. So like for me personally, after I die, I'm not gonna die because my body parts, I'm gonna become a parts machine for someone else, and that's what it's for, is to raise awareness for organ donation. So anyway, let's get on with the video. So I got the bike out of storage. There's a lot of stuff that needs to be done. Last year the sun really beat the heck out of this bike, and well, we have to order a new emblem. So this is all sun damaged right here. This was all gold, and we're gonna replace that. I don't have the parts yet, but I wanted to show you guys a couple of tips and tricks that I've done. So this right here is going to be replaced. It's just a sticker decal, but one of the things that I had is, this is the fuel pump cover right here. This is on the 1100s, by the way. This is an 1100. These covers commonly break off, so we took a piece of aluminum, a strip, cut into a strip, brought it down, and there's a little ear right here that breaks off. Mine obviously broke off, so we used a piece of aluminum, drilled a couple of holes, and riveted it right there. Pop rivet 1 and 2, and then screwed it onto the cover. It's nice and solid, no rattling. So that's one tip for you that you can do. And then the other thing that happened was the original covers for this bike blew off. It's very common. They're only held in it with a couple of pops, you know, going to grommets. So what we did was we used black zip ties and drilled a hole. And when you stand back and look at the bike, you can't even tell it's done. So that was another tip that we did on the bike. Now the whole bike is LEDs. It's got an LED brake light. It's got regular lights. I'm going to be putting LEDs into that, and I'm going to show you guys how to do those without messing up your auto. So what I mean by auto is when the directionals are on, you push this in and it automatically shuts them off. When you convert these bikes over to LEDs on the directionals, they don't do that. They you lose your automatic canceling. So, and you got to use a special flasher. I'm going to teach you guys in one of my videos how to do that without doing that. So without losing in your auto, having LEDs, real simple way of doing it. Now you might notice on this bike that the these are just plastic. These are the driving lights. They are junk. They came with that rack that they're on, and they're cheap, and the sun just beat them badly. So we're going to order a couple of sets of lights for this bike. I put the small windshield on. You remember the other one was taller and it had the embroidery on it. This one came off of another bike. We're going to detail this bike, meaning we're going to get rid of some of the rust, like up in there, the what do you call it there, the bolts that are showing. This has a leaky seal here. We're going to change one of the fork seals. So we got some videos on this bike coming up, and obviously some tires. So I've gotten a lot of questions on this bike over the years, and I'm going to address them. So one of the questions I got on this bike is, where did you get the chrome fender? And that taillight is not for a 92. That is correct. That is an older taillight and older fenders. Those fenders right there are off of an 84 84, I believe. An 84 XV1100. Same with the front. And this chrome piece here was off of a different year bike. I think it was like an 87 that had a painted fender. So there's that bike. The rims, both of the rims, are spoke wheels, and I got a lot of questions on the spoke wheels. Kevin, those things look nice on this bike. They do. They're terrible to clean, but they do look nice. What bike did I get them off of? I got them off of an 85 XV700. It was the black with the gold pinstriping, like a special. It was the only year that had both spoke wheels. Every other bike had those aluminum mag wheels with the bent aluminum spokes, like the 5-star, but they were at an angle. They look moon shape. And so there's that on that. The exhaust, I don't know what the exhaust is. That's an aftermarket exhaust and aftermarket forward controls. Those came off of a parts bike that I got. And the one thing I thought was really cool about the exhaust is the pipe here is the same diameter in the front as it is in the back. I don't know if you can see it or not. Which typically when you get these bikes, you have a smaller one in the back, a smaller pipe, and a bigger one in the front, and then you have two different jets in the carburetor. This bike is running the same jets, back and front carbs are both the same. I do have to put a bigger jet in it. I haven't done that yet. So when I start the bike up, it pops out the exhaust, and when I pull out the plugs, they are very lean. This thing is clean. So I got to put bigger main jets in it, and bigger pilot jets. Other than that, the bike purrs like a kitten. The minute you give it a little bit of throttle, just a wee little bit of throttle, and it comes right out of it. So these are called rocking horses. These chrome pieces here are called rocking horses. Just a chrome add-on. Nothing too fancy, you know. I gotta do some bag repair. You can see the threads are all on the top of the bag. All the rest of it is fine, just the top. So I gotta have that restitched on both sides, and go from there. So she's the XV Special. Pretty much it. I gotta do a lot of cleaning. Like I said, it's been sitting in one of those shelter logics, so things are starting to rust up on it. It's dirty. You can see the mirror is dirty. You know, you can see the rust. Not a big deal. She cleaned up last year. She'll clean up again. Okay, so one of the things I've done with this bike, which was pretty cool add-on, the fuel pump, is you can see on the back here that my rear tail lights come on, and they come on just like the front. I don't know if you can see the front. Little bunny right there eating some carrots. Right there in the front. See right there how they're on? Okay, so a lot of people ask me, Kevin, how come mine don't come on? Do I have to get a different bulb? No, what I did was I put see how they look when they blink? Just like a car. And then you push it in to stop them. So anyway, how it works is I took an extra set of front directional. See, the back ones are supposed to be single filament. Took an 1156 bulb. The front ones are a double filament, and these took an 1157 bulb. I took two of these fixtures and moved them into the back. Then I plugged them in the exact same way. The regular running light filament wire. Okay? I put both of those together and tapped them into the brake light right here on just the regular running light. So now at nighttime the whole bike can be seen. So a couple of other things we got going on this bike is, see right here on the toolbox there's a reflector. I have it looks exactly like this, bolts in the same way, same color red, but it's also a brake light. So we're going to be putting that on, and actually it has it's double filament LED, so it stays on like, you know, regular, and then gets brighter when you hit the brake. I also have, for the front, I have right here, I have those also for the bike that are directionals. And they stay on with the light, you know, when you have your lights on, which is pretty cool. And then the other thing I have, because you can see right here, I have another dilemma with the bike. If you look right here on the forward controls, that's where my oil filter is. So let me give you a better angle of that. Yep, it's a pain in the neck to take off. So what we are going to do is we're going to eliminate this, because my oil filter is inside here and I don't like it. So for my newer bike, I picked up this. And this is a remote oil filter assembly. I do have to get longer lines, which I'm going to do, because I got to figure out where I'm going to mount this thing. But it's also going to allow me to put an oil pressure gauge on the motor as well. So this part right here will bolt up right there. It's in the same, you know, same bolt pattern, same everything, same what do you call it there, same different, you know, a little longer bolts. It's a little thicker right there, but the holes are all in the same spot and they'll bolt right in. Now on the engine right here, this little piece has to be taken off, so this is going to have to be ground down a little bit right up in here, which is easy enough to do. I'll do that little modification, and then I'm going to find a place to mount the oil filter assembly. Now the oil filter assembly on this bike is going to be in a weird spot, because if you look in the front here, I have the exhaust right here, and here's where the oil is. So basically the oil lines are going to come out, go by the exhaust, and then the oil filter will be hanging out over here. Well, that can't happen. So we're going to take the oil lines, they're going to go through here, close to the engine, and the oil filter is actually going to be on the other side. On the other side of the engine, for easy access. So that's how we're going to do that, and that's going to allow us to you know, have the engine cooler, and you can put the oil filter cooler on it. You can, with the longer lines, I can put a oil inline cooler. I can do multiple different things. And the other thing I want to make for this bike is a frame. Now the way this works is the engine is hung from the top up here, and there is nothing underneath the engine. Okay, it just comes down, and that's that. Okay, we're going to make a black frame that comes down, contours the engine, and goes back and bolts up. And that's how we're going to do a frame, just like a makeshift frame. It's going to be welded onto that, so when I take down the engine, it'll still be underneath of it. It won't be in the way, it'll be out of the way. A little bit of fabrication work to be done. We have bunnies in the yard. I gave one of them a carrot. There's a baby bunny right there. You say hi? We got some bunnies in the yard. So, but anyway, so these are some of the projects I have coming up on this bike. And then over the winter, we're going to actually take this engine down. This is an XV1100. We're going to put 920 heads on this motor and give it a little bit more power. The 920 motor has a different stroke and has bigger valves and a closed chamber head. And when you put that cylinder head on an XV1100, this thing really wakes up. And we're going to get rid of the dual carb setup too. I decided to get rid of that and these emission tubes. So we're going to be doing a lot of setting up on this motor. We're going to really wake this thing up. So we're going to take off the emission tubes, the emission parts, the dual carb setup. And no, we're not putting a Harley carburetor on this thing. Absolutely not. A lot of people do that. They lose a little bit of top end, but they get a great lower end. No, we're not going to do that. We're going to go full on Japanese on this bike. No American stuff on this Japanese bike. Everything's metric. We're going to keep it that way. And we're going to upgrade the front calipers as well. So this is the bike that I ride pretty much every day. I go up to the White Mountains with it on occasion, me and the wife. And it is a very comfortable bike, especially with the forward controls. So we're going to do some giving it some love, and we got to replace the tires. Tires are shot. So I've got enough juice on those tires to do the Andy Blacksmith Ride for Life, which I'm going to take you guys on that journey with me. And other than that, we're going to be, after that, we're going to start hammering away little projects at a time on the bike. So I do want to say thank you guys for all your subscribers. You guys may have noticed I haven't done any videos lately. I have been very, very busy. It's that time of year coming up on the 4th. So I took about a month and a half off, 2 months. And we're going to be getting back into the swing of things real soon. I got some cool projects coming on. And, well, we just got to get back onto it. So things have been absolutely crazy. So I just want to say thank you to all my subscribers for hanging in there. I noticed even when I haven't made any videos, the count has been going up. I'm like, you guys are awesome. So we got some really cool people, and I just want to say thank you guys. We got in September, we're going to be turning that into a workshop. So we have a lot of cool stuff coming up. We're going to be changing a lot. So we're going to be working on this one for a little bit, just kind of freshening it up, making, I got to do an oil change to it. I got to put the remote oil filter in. This is off of a Yamaha xv1100, but it's not a Virago. I forgot what the name of the bike is that it came off of, but according to all my sources, it will fit on here. It will stick out a little bit. That's why it has the rounded edges, and you have to do a little bit of a modification, but it will work on the bike. And I'm going to show you guys how to do that. That way, if you have your forward controls, you have a remote oil filter, and it's really easy oil filter. You can get this oil filter at any parts store, and that's right in the small engine section. So it literally is like a Briggs & Stratton oil filter. Still a mosquito. There's really nothing to it. You can go to a Harley dealer and get a chrome one if you want a chrome one, or you can just get the cover. They make the cover that goes on it too. So, and this thing's a really high quality piece. And of course, we're going to have to modify this mount to get that to work on this bike to where we're going to mount it. So, like I said, we got some stuff coming up, and we're just going to keep crack-a-lacking at it. Is that word I like to use, crack-a-lacking. So, we're going to put a oil cooler on it. We're going to do a whole bunch of other stuff to it just to keep her cool. Like I said, I take it up to the White Mountains. I don't have any issues with this bike. This bike right here was really nice. Now, this bike didn't start off as an 1100. This bike started off as a 750, an XV750, and I acquired the engine on another bike, and I went up and picked it up all the way up in Vermont. Picked it up. That was like 2 years ago. I picked it up. 3 years ago. No, 3 years. I picked up this bike, and not this bike, but the one that engine was on. And it wasn't a complete bike. I had he had the carburetors. He had basically a complete bike, almost all done. And so I decided I was going to put the motor on. I didn't realize that I had to change the entire electrical harness. The charging system's different. The ignition module is different. Motor looked the same on the outside, but it was completely different. Even has a different clutch mechanism. I mean, even the clutch basket's different. Everything's different about it. So keep that in mind if you guys ever decide you're going to do one of these conversions. It was a nightmare. So I actually didn't do any videos on, I think I did it, actually it was longer than that. I didn't even have my YouTube channel at the time, or else I would have done videos on that. That would have been great. But yeah, I converted this bike over. All these parts and pieces are from different bikes. The engine is an XV1100, and you have to put on different things. You have to put on, let's see here, the fuel control system is different. It has caution lights. The XV700 doesn't have any of that. It's nice when you're in a parade and doing stuff to have the what do you call it, the caution lights, you can put them on and that sort of thing. So that's pretty much what I got for you guys for tonight. I just wanted to really, my purpose of this video, not just to show off the bike, but main thing is to say thank you guys. And we got a lot of stuff coming up, and I just want to say I appreciate you guys' support, even in the downtime. That right there really means a lot to me. So we got some cool stuff coming up, and I want to say happy 4th. I'm not really sure when I'm going to be able to do my next video, but I'm trying to squeeze them out. So we got a lot of stuff coming up, and as I'm doing those projects, I will definitely be doing videos on them. We're going to be making a generator. I got a generator frame back here. So I'll show you a couple things. I got a ProGen 5000 frame and a 5,000 watt generator that we're going to modify to put onto that frame, and I'll end up flipping that to make money for another project. We have a winch set up right there. This is going on the Yamaha Breeze, the 125. So like I said, we got all kinds of stuff, all kinds of goodies coming up. So anyway guys, thank you for watching, thank you for subscribing, and I really appreciate all the support I get. So thank you guys, and I'll be talking to you soon. Have a good night.